In the apparel industry, a BOM, also known as a bill of materials, is a document that breaks down everything that goes into making the garment. From the fabric to the thread, it indicates every element in excruciating detail for the manufacturer and includes the quantities consumption information. CLO has a similar feature. In this video, we are going to explore the BOM editor for us to use in our tech pack later on. To open it, go to your main menu and select Editor, then BOM. It will appear in your 2D window. The first thing you'll want to do is set your currency in the settings, which you can access here in the upper right. Now, if we had built up our line sheet like we did in the t-shirt video, you could switch between the colorways in case there are pricing differences. Like our reference BOM from earlier, this BOM sheet automatically determines the consumption with quantity and the price of the goods you enter manually in order to analyze the total cost. And you would do that for each of your fabrics. Now let's move on to our materials list here, which is directly imported from your object browser. I'll select the first one here, and as you can see, it's highlighted in 3D, which is always a good way to check as you're entering your numbers. Finally, you might need to consider changing your units depending on where you are in the world, and in your BOM editor, you can do that here. Let's start with our embroidered patch listed here as fleece. I entered it here as 150 for 3 yards, which brings it to about 3 cents per unit. In the real world, I would probably enter it as a trim to simplify things a bit more. Our main fleece we'll put at $3 per yard. Rib knits like this are usually sold by the piece, so again, this would need to be considered a trim for real world application, but here, let's make it 50 cents per 3/4 yard. For our eyelet fabric, we're going to make it 0 because that was added for the sole purpose of anchoring our draw cords. And our two default fabrics here are our drawer cords, which we're going to list as 10 cents in order to bring them to 1 cent each. Now it looks like the issue we're having here is that the system doesn't automatically recognize certain things as trim, but that's the little workaround I've found so far. What CLO does recognize as trim, however, are these eyelets. We'll make those 75 cents each, one, because good hardware can be expensive. The thread we'll leave as a default since that's usually calculated by the manufacturer. And that brings our grand total to a reasonable $5.45 USD. Keep in mind, however, that this is just the cost of the materials. Labor and transportation are not included. We'll get to that when we get to our tech pack. But for now, this is how you manage your BOMs in CLO.